Hey there, YouTube friends, and welcome back to the Bikini Bottom Water Park, where today we are putting everything in order and building some new things for our entrance area, including our first pool. I'm so excited you're here to share with me. I'm maskedbandit, and let's get going on today's awesome build. Alrighty, so I wanted to get started with this episode with the main thing, SpongeBob's house, the pineapple. A pineapple under the sea. And this is almost done. I didn't do recording because I'm still figuring out the game. Well, I haven't been doing any speed builds. I've also gotten away from it on the channel. We may do some, but there are none in this video. I had a really hard time getting some of this together. But anyway, here is our pineapple, and it doesn't quite look right yet because it's missing a lot of the details. But I do want to show you how I made this. This is made up, and if we go into here, of thousands of pieces. Right now, 2,137. And if we enter the building, you will see that I've created here. I'm going to highlight just some of it so you can sort of see what happens here. I have gone ahead and made a ridge, like a cage almost, out of these pieces. I believe they're commas or periods. Yeah, they're periods. They're font pieces, scaled way down. And what I did is I used the dome method. And if you don't know what that is, I can make a video on it, but it's basically where you use a gridded piece in the center as your axis, and then you build one like arch, and then you copy it over, and then you fill it in, and then you can make perfectly round buildings. And the thing that took some time with this was getting the shape of the pineapple correct, making sure that it flared and came back in just enough to feel correct. And then I filled it in with letter L's, lowercase L's, so more font pieces. I don't mind the shine on them at all. I think it's pretty good. And once this is all done, it'll really click. So just had to mock it up here, put a person next to it to see just how big is it. It's pretty big. But I mean, it's not that huge. So we have our pineapple, we have a tree here, we have the date palm, the small date palm for the top of the pineapple, and it was at this point where I was like, oh no, what do I have to do? And I realized I have to put these lines in here. These are art shapes scaled down, and what I've done is I have them at 45-degree angles, and I've just snapped them. You can see here I'm in the middle of it. I snapped them around the pineapple, but then I have to go in and move every single one of them and get them flush and make them look nice. And I have to do that a bunch of, so what I do is I'm going to go one this way, and I'm going to go one that way. And then I'm going to copy pasta that around until we get the entirety of the pineapple. And so I'm going to show you what that looks like by going into my blueprints. And here you can see is the finished pineapple once we've done everything we need to do. You can see here we've added all of those lines here, and we've added some little wooden pieces to give the little spiky parts of the pineapple. Just did some changes to the doors, gave him his little smokestack thing, chimney we'll call it. And I think, especially from a distance, that is a pineapple under the sea, my friends. I think it's pretty good. This will eventually be on the workshop. What I've gone ahead and done is I've put these 4 buildings on the workshop along with the Bikini Bottom sign. What I've decided to do is anything I make that's workshoppable, blueprintable, it'll be out probably the episode or 2 after it shows itself on the video. So the SpongeBob pineapple will come out probably for the next episode. Just make sure that it's there for you. But the other stuff is there now. So after we got the pineapple done, it was time to get to work on Squidward's house, the Easter Island head. So let's get started on that. And you can see here that it's already completed, but it's very similar in how to do it as the pineapple. I did the radial method, the dome building technique, where we started and I'm using plaster wall, non-gridded plaster wall pieces for just about the entirety of the building. I actually did have to make this one twice because the first time I did it, my angle was off, and so it was a little short and a little squat, and it just didn't feel right. So, but this is really straightforward. I thought this was a lot easier than the pineapple, even though I had to do it a second time. The door is the only arched door, wooden arched door in the game, so it's a little intense with the with the Viking details, but I think it looks all right. I mean, that looks pretty spot on. I had to make sure that it was about the same, that it was the correct height. His house is just about at the top of the fronds, so I didn't want it to overpower. I wanted it to fit right in. So yeah, we have Squidward's house now, but the problem is, where are we going to put him? We don't have a park yet. So the end goal is, by the end of today's episode, I want to have a place for these houses plus Patrick's Rock, and I thought overlooking a wave pool would be a great way to do that. But in order to get to the wave pool, I thought we needed to have a better idea of what the entrance area is actually going to look like once you cross through the rock bridge that we built in the last episode. So now we've got the two buildings. We are not going to build Patrick's house. We're going to use terrain, but we'll do that later in the episode. So let's start cracking on the entrance area here. So if you remember from last time, this is the same it was. Has this cute music. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to start building in here this entrance area. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build a bunch of buildings and then arrange them in a way that makes sense. So I believe we're going to start with a changing room. Alrighty, you can see our changing rooms here are really straightforward, very much based on that Bikini Bottom slanted architecture. Found a picture that had a green building in it. I was like, oh, that looks pretty nice. I'll go ahead and do that. It's very simple. I kind of like the brown corrugated here. My thought was maybe it's a rusted tin can or something, because a lot of the buildings in Bikini Bottom are repurposed human trash, so that's kind of cool. Well, it's not cool that it's trash, but it's cool that that's what it looks like. So that was kind of my thought here. Like, it's built out of a tin can and some other pieces. So use some plants here. What are these? These are, I think, wisteria? Whoa, heather plants, excuse me. We have some heather plants here that are adding a pop of color while still remaining quasi-realistic. We have some more of the coral here. But yeah, this is a very straightforward build. And I'm actually really pleased with the backside of it. I like that it's very stylized here. But then here it is very it is just very basic and backstagey, and I think that's great, because that was my biggest struggle, is how do we make large enough changing rooms fit the Bikini Bottom style? And so for me, it was doing this. So we'll have to hide all of this backstage stuff once it's in situation. But yeah, so there you go. We have a little bit here of a changing room. And inside is a restroom and a changing room, but we'll just call it changing rooms, and we'll add restrooms another time somewhere else. Love the global illumination here. This is so cool. It's actually dark in here. We're gonna have to add some lighting. But yeah, here's our changing room, and these are all just the non-gridded aquatic pieces. So up next, we have Davy Jones' lockers, and that is a nod to an episode of SpongeBob. Here is Davy Jones's locker. It's all rusted and gross. If I remember correctly, there's a bunch of socks inside of it or something. Lockers cost $6 a day, and these wonderful locker buildings I found on the workshop, actually suggested by my good bud Mineral, who posted an amazing video. If you haven't seen it, you need to go watch it. Steve's Wet and Wild. It's amazing. But he found these on the workshop. There are already hundreds of amazing workshop items. People are just absolutely killing it. So yeah, Davy Jones Locker, you can come in here and you can get yourself situated for the day and put all your stuff in a locker. They come in various sizes. I did recolor them to go a little bit better with what we have here. Simple font. What I've been doing to get it kind of wonky is just resizing pieces. And again, this lockers is each letter is its own sign, so we can scale them and change the font to make it match the aesthetic of the show a little bit better. So these are awesome, these shipwreck pieces. I'm going to be using them a whole bunch in this project. I can feel it. And then I also went ahead and recolored the aquatic rocks, threw down a bit more coral, and just put in one of these palms. What is this palm here? Nikau palm tree in a lovely little planter. I do love all the planters that we have in the game here. If we go, there we go. Just so many great planters of various sizes and decorations, and they're really, really good. So that's the thing I'm very pleased with, and I do believe, yeah, and they are scalable, which is incredible. So that's cool. That's great to see. But anyway, so now we have Davy Jones lockers, and the last building we're going to be making for this episode, before we try to put it all together, is we are going to be making a guest services building. So one of the things that's actually been a bit of a struggle for this episode was deviating from any reference pictures while still maintaining the Bikini Bottom aesthetic. It's a lot harder to do when you're just kind of winging it and making up your own buildings. So I thought it would be a good idea to have a barrel, essentially. This is essentially a big old barrel, kind of like what we did over here, this red one. I thought, all right, well, if there's a barrel standing up, surely there could be a barrel that has fallen down. And is it pretty big? Yeah, I think so, but it's okay. I like it a lot. It kind of looks like a Quonset hut. But I think the cutouts here really sell the idea. It feels like it was cut out and then propped up, which I really, really like. It makes it look like they've, like the citizens of Bikini Bottom have messed with or have altered the barrel a bit to actually make it functional, which is fun. And again, we did a very basic backstage hatch here, but I love the bright colors. We are all about the bright colors in this project. And inside are 2 guest information or guest services buildings to buy some floats and to buy some sunscreen and all that kind of stuff, umbrellas, all that stuff they're going to need. And again, we use these awesome planters here. These were in Planet Coaster 1, but with the scalability of them, they've just become so much more versatile. Using lots of yucca, I think that's what you call it, with some more bright flowers, just lots of color, very vibrant, and in the new lighting engine, it just looks so nice. So these are the 3 buildings we're going to be adding in this episode. We're going to now arrange them and try and make a little entrance plaza that makes sense. And then we're going to add a wave-ish pool, and we're going to see if we can't put SpongeBob and Squidward's and Patrick's house. Coral Street, I believe they live on, Coral Lane. We're going to make a little Coral Lane overlooking the wave pool. Let's see what that's going to look like. Alrighty, so here we are in the entrance area. I've actually plugged in a controller to use for our walkthrough here, so hopefully this will be nice and smooth as I'm getting used to using it. All of this is from the last episode. I think it's really fun. I do want to show what I did here. So as you enter, buy your tickets. Here is where you will have your tickets scanned. Just a real simple thatched roof cover. We have day tickets and members here. Yep, so good. I'm very pleased with how this turned out. We might dress this up a little bit more, put in some more fencing and stuff like that. But now you can see here is our first person look at the main entrance area of the Bikini Bottom Water Park. Over here, we have Davy Jones' locker. I did put in some green mist, maybe for the stinky socks, or, you know, the Flying Dutchman. But yeah, so I think that's pretty fun. I'm a little upset that we don't get good sunlight on this building. One of those things that seems to be the case with the Planet games is there's just some angles where sun will never touch it. We obviously have a lot of cleanup to do, but you can see the changing rooms are over here, and that's going to be closer to the wave pool, which you can see in the background, but that's here. And we've gone ahead and added this lovely planter in the center here. We still need to do benches and bins and all of that, but I thought this would be a good place to stop for today. And here is a look at the guest relations with pathing and everything in situation. And I think that just turned out so very nice. Hopefully you agree. We did go ahead and add a little bit of a staff path back here, so we'll be dressing this up as well. Still lots of little details to add to, but yeah, I think this is really, really nice. And then that brings me to the last piece of the puzzle over here. And we've got to go look over there. So here's a look at our first wave pool. I really have never done, I haven't played much with the pools. It's kind of janky. I think I'm going to have to go in and fiddle with it. You can see how the angles are kind of weird in the center there. We have big chunks that are at a different height than the others. I watched Mineral, again, his Wet and Wild today, and he made an amazing wave pool. Ours is not as nice as his, but he did say it was an absolute bear to get done. But I think it's okay for now. I will probably look into fixing it, making it look a little nicer. And obviously, once we put in everything here to make it dressed up and fancy, that'll really help. But I do think the shape is okay, this weird like beaker flask shape thing. So here we are on the edge of our wave pool with a view of the three main buildings on Conch Street. Conch Street? Conch Street. And I even put a path so that we're going to be able to walk up there. Again, we need to foliage all this and make it look super cute. But first on the list, we have Patrick's house, his rock with his antenna. In the pictures, it looks like the antenna is made out of bamboo, so that was just too perfect for us here. So we have the little, the little antenna. I think that's perfect. Like, that was the easiest thing. Actually, it was kind of difficult to get the nice round rock shape, and you can see it's still a little lumpy. But yeah, it came out all right. And then we have Squidward's house here with his planks leading up to his house. And then we have the pineapple here. Again, up close. Ooh, I'm stuck. Up close. It's a little janky. It's a little janky up close. But from back here, like, I just think that's so much fun with all, and we have all the planting and the waves and the people playing. Probably have some slides on the other side. I just think that this is a bit of terrific. So I'm so pleased. And the thing that really makes me happy, let me show you here. The thing that I'm very pumped about. I love that as you enter into this opening area, you can see them. They're sort of like a weenie in the park, which is awesome. And then I can just picture slides on either side of it. I think it's going to be so good. So in the next episode, we're going to clean up the wave pool and detail and maybe add our first slides. What sort of slides should we add? Give me some suggestions. We're going to keep, you've been so good on that first episode. All your amazing suggestions. A lot of them I've already considered. So yeah, I'm excited to add to this. I'm excited to get episodes out to you. So thanks so much for watching today. I do appreciate it, and I appreciate you for spending time with me. Take care, everyone, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.